1 of 3043, the Balanced Literacy Framework. All of us have memories of our early learning environments. Think about, how did you learn to read and write? Some of you probably learned to read through phonics. Some of you probably learned to read through trade books, or maybe even a combination of both of them. Well, in this unit, we're going to explore our own backgrounds and beliefs on early literacy learning and find our own pedagogical middle ground based on our course readings. Now, when you hear about early literacy, you often hear about phonics versus whole language. And they seem to be at opposite ends of a continuum. But do they really need to be? This is why we're going to explore that common ground known as the Balanced Literacy Framework. As a classroom teacher in the elementary grades, your focus should be on literacy. You're laying the foundation for later reading and writing. Your approach to teaching reading and writing should be reflected throughout your classroom. If someone walks into your classroom, what does it say about the way you teach reading and writing? Well, we all bring to the classroom our own beliefs and expectations of what learning to read and write entails. And many of those beliefs often stem from our own personal experiences or the experiences that our children are having in the classroom. As we begin to unravel our own thoughts, you're going to learn to balance them with a true research base. What does research teach us about best practices in the literacy framework? By the end of the week, you'll be able to identify your own beliefs about literacy and how those beliefs impact teaching. And you'll be able to explain through writing the balanced literacy framework for your licensure area. We're going to be reading chapters 1, 2, and 3 in the guided reading text by Fountas and Pinnell. And check out the Old Tangi School District's view of the balanced literacy framework. I just want to give you a little blurb on scholarly sources. You know that you are asked to cite scholarly sources for the discussion board postings. Well, consider the following. Are these claims research-based or opinion-based? Citing an unsubstantiated opinion is not a scholarly source. Many blogs tend to do this, so be aware. Those are not scholarly sources. Does the author have credibility in the field of early literacy? Well, your sources do not have to be, quote, famous. Citing Mrs. Jones's kindergarten blog is probably not your most reputable source. Is it Wikipedia? Wikipedia is not a scholarly source, ever. Use the Electronic Journal Center to assist you, along with browsing sites of reputable organizations such as the International Literacy Association or Reading Recovery, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, and those that are like that. If you have questions, please ask. I want you to gain the most factual and most useful information as possible. Wonderful. Some of you have already posted your introductions. That's awesome. Here is the discussion rubric that I will use to score your discussion forums, which I reviewed in the syllabus overview. So please be sure before you submit that you have self-assessed using this rubric. Did you use more than 2 research-based sources in addition to our text? Discussion Forum 2 is about your literacy memories. Think about your own experience of learning to read and write. Post 1 memory of your literacy experiences to match your area of concentration. After reading the information for the week, classify that experience. Would it be considered phonics, whole language, or a balanced literacy approach? How did that experience make you feel as a learner? Be sure to cite 2 additional sources in addition to the course readings and respond substantially to 2 other students. If you have any questions about the final project, please post them here. Also, as we are going through each week, please be making notes. That's going to help you pull that final project together very easily. So as you begin, think about your thoughts on teaching reading and writing. At the end of the week, think about what the research says. Have your beliefs started to shift, or are they still the same? Make note of all of that. If you have questions, please email me